Hey, what's up guys? This is Brian from Whisper Status 74. Welcome to the community, welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you are seeing me, please consider liking and subscribing. We're real tech for real people. Today's video will be on pretty large price drops from the LG C1 and the Samsung QN90A at the larger sizes of 83 inches and 85 inches, as well as some buyer's advice for purchasing displays around the time of Black Friday. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today. This price drop video will be covering the larger sizes. I recently did a video on the 83-inch C1, which you see behind me, and a lot of talk in those comments were it is a luxury size. It's not something most people can afford. Typically 85-inch or 86-inch panels that are affordable tend to be the ones you see at Costco or Walmart, which are much lower quality. Not so this year. The 83-inch C1 is now $5,000. It dropped $500. Now, Black Friday, purchasing around Black Friday, the sales typically started a few weeks ago and they kind of stay around until Black Friday, maybe even a little bit after. So it's better to keep your eyes open. We'll give you some buyer's advice in terms of size at the end of the video. But for now, the 83-inch C1 is down $500. For context, the C8 was $15,000 at 77 inches. The C9 was about $12,000. The prices of these have come down a lot. That was a couple years ago, but even the CX at 77 was very expensive last year. Here you are at 83 inches. The first year we've had 83-inch consumer OLEDs at $5,000, down $500. For context, its direct competitor in size is the Sony A90J, which is still $8,000. The A90J is a Master Series. It is a higher end panel. Its direct competitor from LG is the G1. However, the G1 does not have an 83-inch size, so it is its competitor, again, in regards to size. And from my opinion, the C1 and G1 are very close in terms of picture quality, and also the 83-inch panels tend to have EVO panels anyway, at least they did. So to me, they're very comparable, except the 83-inch is a much better value from C1, also having all the gaming features, 5 HDMI 2.1, 4K 120 Dolby Vision, a lot of the gaming features that the Sony does not have. I personally think the A90J has better picture quality, but the C1 at $5,000 versus, what did I say, 8,000? Yeah, 5,000 versus 8,000. I mean, you're looking at a $3,000 price difference. The value is undeniable from the C1. Amazing value. So as I look that up, that actually dropped today. But as I looked up another price just today, which I thought was amazing, was the Samsung QN90A is down to $32.99. It's down $700. What is amazing to me is I had a friend buy a 75-inch just a month or so ago at about $3,000, and that was on sale for the QN90A. Now, to have the QN90A at 85 inches at $32, what is the price for that one? $32.99, again, down $700, is unreal. The QN90A is a flagship. It is one of the best LEDs, if not the best LED this year. To drop that much is unreal. 85 inches, by the way, that usually you pay a few hundred to a few thousand for a few inches. Forget about 10 inches. That is a huge jump. And that'll lead us into the price or the size differences, and we'll check that out in one more second. But what's interesting with the Samsung, and it's something I love about Samsung but don't love about them, is they do not hold their value. You've seen 8K panels last year that were, I think it was the Q950 or 900 TS that was down to $3,500, while the Z8H was still about $5,000. Now, to see Samsung drop the flagship this low is very interesting. However, what is interesting, and we predicted this, is the Sony X95J, which is its direct competitor, has also dropped in price to, what do we got here for the Sony? It's down to $4,000. It's down $500. But Sony releasing the X95 so late in the game has given the QN90A such an advantage. It was out so early. it was selling so well, its direct competitor wasn't released. It was going against the X90J. So the QN90A had all this time to be the best panel out there, other than what you see from Hisense and TCL. So, Samsung being one of the only big three offering an LED, actually the only out of the big three offering a flagship LED for that period of time, now allows it to drop its price that low. 85 inches at that price point is absolutely ridiculous, especially for a flagship. Now Sony is stuck. They released a little bit cheaper than I think they would have wanted to, and they do still have to drop the price a bit. I'm not sure they'll come all the way down to that. That would probably be a loss in some ways. Now, to talk a little bit about size. But before we do that, I want to just cover this quickly, is that these prices are from authorized dealers, meaning the way to check that is right away, Best Buy, Amazon, authorized dealers, even our good friends Robert and Wendy at Value Electronics. You start getting into these off-brand websites, I don't even know the ones to cover anymore. I don't even bother with them, as those prices will not be matched by any of the other competitors. They are not authorized dealers. Authorized dealers, meaning if something goes wrong, they're not authorized. That warranty from the manufacturer will not cover you. So you have to stay with, if you want to get price matches, you have to stay with Best Buy, Amazon, and even our good friends at Value Electronics will cover, or I should say price match, these prices. And I'm sure Robert will chime in somewhere in the comments. I left a message with him this morning to see if he would match this. I'm fairly certain he will, as he is an authorized dealer, and his prices on his website will reflect these, you know, within the morning, most likely. So going into size, what I want to say about that is when many of you are purchasing TVs, or you're shopping or doing your research, more times than not, you have a budget set. With that budget, you have a corresponding size where you're basically saying, I want that 55. I'm looking at that 55. What's so interesting about that is you get this tunnel vision where that's the only size you see. We saw this with the AAH, I almost said 3 H's, last year, is where when it dropped in size, it was nearly the 65-inch version was nearly the same price as the 55-inch version. Now that might only be for a few weeks. The 55-inch version may be a better seller. They may not want to lose even that little bit of price and drop that or that profit. But there's times, it's rare, but it does happen every year, at least here and there, is you'll have sizes that are very far apart that are only a few hundred apart. And sometimes, very rarely, will the larger panel be cheaper for a second. Sometimes it takes a while for the prices to drop. Right now, you're seeing that with Samsung. You're seeing that the 85-inch is very, very close in price to the 75-inch QN90A. So if you're somebody looking at that 75-inch and you're ready to pull the trigger, what I would always do whenever shopping for a panel is look at the next size up to see what that pricing is. You can also look at the next size down to see if that has dropped quite a bit, but I'll always say if you have a size that you're focused on, going up, check it. It never hurts. And now more than ever, when you're ready to make a purchase on a larger size, please make sure that you keep an eye on all the other sizes. For context, also the Samsung QN90A 8K panel at 65 inches, I'll show it up here in a second, is about the same price as the 85-inch QN90A, which is absolutely insane to have a 20-inch difference and have them be near in price. And some people will argue the QN90A is a better overall panel, especially in terms of value, because the Q900A is so expensive. But when you're choosing sizes and you have that size in mind, it just always be cognizant that the larger size, because there are less of them, they don't have as many, but they do have a lot in stock in inventory. So they don't make as many. They're harder to move. They do drop that price. That happened again last year with the 8K. They had made a lot, had them in stores. They don't make a lot at the factory, but they had them in stores. They have to get rid of that inventory. They drop in value rather quickly. So what I'm saying with larger panels, they don't make as many, but they do end up being stuck in inventory for these stores. They do drop them rapidly to move them quickly. They don't always stay that price. They have to keep checking the inventory. If they can get them out of Best Buy or Amazon, they will. Also, if you're nervous about Black Friday shopping, right now, if you look at where we are going into November with the very end, it's October 27th. You have what we call a price adjustment. So if you do buy something that is, say you go today and you do buy the C1 drops another $200. As long as you're in your return window, most manufacturers will cover you for that difference. Just let them know. They'll usually give you a credit or give you the difference in money or however that works, but they will take care of you. So don't feel nervous about listening to this video and saying, oh my God, but the C1 might drop a few extra hundred. Let me wait. Don't play that game. Get the panel, have it, enjoy it. If it drops within your return window, which at some of these places can be, I think Best Buy is 15 days, but if you're Elite member, it's 30 days. It might be 30, but if you're Elite, it might be more than that. But you'll have that return window, and you can still not return the panel, but they will typically adjust the price, even if it is a sale price. So you're covered. Many of you got hurt with the Sony A80J, which launched, then dropped the price down to, I believe, around the same price, $3,000, maybe $3,200, and now it's back up. And many of you are very frustrated that that price isn't dropping back down. It may not drop back down because the 83-inch C1 is still more expensive. The 77-inch C1 is around the same price as the A80, but for right now, we're covering those larger prices. But just protect yourself that way. If there's something that you really want, and this is my rule of thumb again, seeing these large price drops as we get to Black Friday, people say to me 6 months ago, hey man, would you rather wait until now? It's dicey when you're seeing huge price drops, but the C1's price drop of $500, yes, it's substantial. However, I rather have lost the $500 and have enjoyed the C1 5 months ago. So that's really where your finances and your value are most important. But playing this game and trying to save another $100 and waiting another month, you have to understand too, as you go into Amazon and Best Buy, you're going to see that there's very few left in stock. We have a shortage all over, especially in the US, a huge shortage of everything. I'm sure if you wait, then you go to buy your TV and you're seeing a ship date of a few weeks, that'll be very frustrating for you. So be very careful with that. But this is not even a quick video anymore. This is my advice on size, also covering the drop of the LG C1 and the Samsung QN90A. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Again, I don't typically cover price drops. If I did that, you can do these videos every day, but I wanted to bring this one to you as I typically cover a lot of larger panels. And for many of you, these panels are out of reach, but for right now, they are very affordable, especially the Samsung QN90A. And as I mentioned to you before, this is the first year we've had consumer 83-inch OLEDs. OLEDs, again, $20,000, $15,000, $12,000 when you go back as far as the C8 and the C9. So it actually is, within reason, somewhat affordable. $5,000 for an 83-inch OLED is absolutely insane. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to you soon. Love you guys.